Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story, showing support. Jay's hometown goes blue as the search for the teenager in Tenerife enters its 5th day. A helicopter and drone are now being used in the search. Also tonight, digging deep. Taylor Swift's surprise donation to help feed thousands of people in Liverpool.
Well, I think we've both become Swifties all of a sudden.
She's doing a good thing and she loves Liverpool. You can't get better than that.
Reds on the rise. How Salford fans are at the heart of the Red Devils Super League revival.
Welcome to Showtown for the launch of the UK's capital of dance.
Yes, keep dancing. Blackpool hosts a month-long festival of everything to do with dance.
And today has been a mix of cloudy conditions, sunny spells and some showers in the evening. But what is it looking like at the weekend? I'll have all the details at the end of the programme.
Blue ribbons have been put up throughout the Lancashire town of Oswaldtwistle to support the family of Jay Slater, who is missing in Tenerife. A helicopter and drones joined police on day 5 of the search to find the 19-year-old who failed to return to his holiday accommodation after a night out. Well, last night, a special service was held in his hometown, as Eunice Muller reports.
Tied ribbons in the colour blue and a symbol of hope. Here in Oswaldtwistle, a sign of unity. These sisters had walked a few miles from Blackburn.
I feel like we know people who know him, and it's quite, everyone knows everyone, if you know what I mean. You know someone, they know someone, and everyone needs to stick together and hopefully they can bring him back home.
Jay Slater lives close to this chippy and was a regular. So are some of his friends.
There's not much else you can really do, is there, other than try your best and get everyone to have a go and look for the boy and try to get him home safe with his family. But
did you know Jay quite well?
I knew him very well. He's a good friend of mine.
Darren Regan is the owner and says the community want to pull together for his parents.
As a community, we are all thinking and praying for them.
When he comes into the shop, describe what he's like.
It's just him and his friends. They're usually laughing and joking between themselves. They get a bit of food and then they just go on their way. They're quite happy, nice and polite.
The 19-year-old was last seen on Sunday at the NRG Music Festival in Tenerife and is said to have got into a car with 2 men. He called a friend the next morning to say he'd missed a bus and decided to walk the 10-hour journey back to his apartment, but was lost, needed water, and his phone was on 1% battery. The teenager is an apprentice bricklayer and was on his first foreign holiday without his parents. His family remain on the island along with a number of close friends. But in recent days, a number of people have also flown out from this town to help with the search, and a special service was also held here yesterday.
There's plenty of people in my congregations that do know Jay and have grown up with him and the family. And know the family, and so for them it is really important just to respond to that for them as well.
On the island, the search is in its 5th day, with rescue teams and police continuing to focus on the village of Muska and a ravine in the national park.
My lad, he's 23 years old. He was in Tenerife like 2 weeks ago, so it just brings these kind of things home.
I hope they find him for everybody, for parents and everybody.
Jay's family are being supported by Lancashire Police, who are not involved, despite calls from some to provide assistance. With every day, fears for the teenager grow. But here, they can remain positive. Eunice Muller, BBC North West Tonight, Oswaldtwistle.
Now, a Merseyside woman says a routine cervical screening, which she almost missed, saved her life. Rita Doyle's cancer diagnosis was picked up in December 2020. This week is Cervical Screening Awareness Week, and Rita is urging others to attend their screening. Well, I'm really pleased to say that Rita joins me now. Rita, first of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Very well, yes.
So just tell us, first of all, about your story, because, as we said, this was a routine screening, as we're now calling them. They're not called smears anymore. But you almost didn't go.
Yes, I got the text reminder. I looked at it, put it to one side almost, and didn't think that at 58 I needed to worry about cervical cancer. And it was only when I got the reminder to go for the screening that I thought, well, I'll go and have it done. But again, I wasn't particularly worried. So very quickly, probably about 2 weeks after that smear, I was called then for a further investigation as a colposcopy, which I know that lots of women get called back after their initial screening test.
So you still weren't too worried?
No, I wasn't, because again, lots of people have that and it isn't cancer. So the only symptom that, looking back now, I had was a bit of a niggly back pain, but I didn't associate that with cancer in any way, shape or form. So after the colposcopy, 2 weeks after that, I got a phone call to say that I unfortunately had cervical cancer. And after that, it was MRI, CT scan, and 11 weeks to the day from when I went for the smear, I was going into theatre for what they call a radical hysterectomy.
And actually, when we look at the timing of it, December 2020,
yeah,
we're all in lockdown.
COVID.
So actually, a lot of these sort of screenings weren't happening, were they?
Well, funny enough, they were actually, because they were, you know, they were taking proper precautions when I went, because I actually went during the lockdown for my smear, so it didn't stop during COVID, the screening
for that.
here in this country.
Difficult perhaps to ask you, but do you ever think about what if I hadn't gone and I'd ignored that text?
Yeah, I think about that an awful lot. I say to people I was lucky that I was diagnosed with cancer. I was lucky I went for that smear, because I truly don't think I'd be sitting here with you now if I hadn't have shaken myself and gone for it.
And so now you are working with Cheshire and Merseyside Cancer Alliance.
Yeah.
Because why? You want to get the message out there, do you?
Yeah, particularly in the northwest of England, we have the lowest rate of people attending for their screening. And unfortunately, we've got the highest rate of cervical cancer in the country. Right. So we're really trying to get the message out there, trying to encourage people to go for their screening. I think one of the biggest kind of obstacles for people is fear and embarrassment. It's not particularly nice going to have a cervical smear done. But I would reassure everybody and say that the nurses who are performing the procedure, they've seen it all. You know, their main focus is to make you feel at peace or, you know, comfortable, and to get a good sample so that they can rule out any issues or problems for...
Yeah, and you are absolute living proof that go. When they say come and get your screening, go and get your screening.
Yes, do. I've spoken to 2 women today, actually, who have done what I did. They got a letter, they put it to one side, they haven't prioritised themselves. And I've begged them, please go.
Now, hopefully, having spoken to you, they will go and do that. Rita, it's really good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for allowing us to kind of get that message out there to go for your smear test.
It's our pleasure. Thank you ever so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, let's get a roundup of some of the day's other news now. Lucy Letby told police she did not dislodge the breathing tube of a baby girl, a court has been hearing today. Letby denies the attempted murder of baby Kay while working at the Countess of Chester Hospital in 2016. A consultant paediatrician previously told Manchester Crown Court that the nurse stood next to the incubator doing nothing as the infant's condition deteriorated. Merseyside police have discovered £500,000 in cash and a kilo of suspected cocaine after stopping a driver for not wearing a seatbelt in Dingle yesterday. A 28-year-old man from Sefton Park was arrested and taken in for questioning. The former Manchester United footballer Nicky Butt's been banned from driving for 12 months and ordered to carry out 100 hours of unpaid work for causing a motorcycle crash that resulted in serious injury to the rider in Burnley last year. Tram drivers on Greater Manchester's Metrolink will be balloted for strike action. The union Unite say it's due to what they say is a woeful pay offer. Metrolink have offered a rise of 4.5%, but union bosses say that falls well below the rate of inflation. And nearly 500 bus drivers in Liverpool will strike over pay next month. Stagecoach workers from the union Unite are angry about what they call a huge disparity in pay between bus companies in the city. They'll walk out from the 5th to the 8th of July and again from the 12th to the 15th of July. Leading politicians from around the British Isles have gathered on the Isle of Man for a summit to discuss renewable energy. Those attending the 41st summit of the British-Irish Council included Scottish First Minister John Swinney and the island's Chief Minister Alfred Cannon. They discussed the common challenges the nations face trying to meet climate change targets. Now, it is just under 2 weeks until the general election, and throughout the campaign we have been asking for your thoughts and questions through Your Voice, Your Vote. A topic that plenty of you have been writing in about is housing, and that's an issue that both Labour and the Conservatives were campaigning on yesterday. Well, Katie Barnfield is here now to have a look at what you've been asking, and Katie, what the parties have had to say.
Well, yes, Annabelle, of course, housing is an issue we have looked at a lot on this programme and something that is on many of your minds. George Murphy from Merseyside wrote to us and said, it is almost impossible for young people to get on the housing ladder. While Sarah Wally says there are many people in their 40s and 50s who've also had to move back in with their parents because of extortionate rental prices. Tanya Abarico said housing was also the key issue for her and asked why can't councils turn old factories and empty buildings into homes? Housing is getting more expensive here in the northwest. Data from Zoopla shows rents have risen more than 8% across the region over the past year, with the highest rise in Oldham, where they've gone up more than 14%, while the average house price in the northwest has now gone up to over $239,000. So what are the parties going to do about it? Well, all the main parties are pledging to build new homes. The Lib Dems have promised the most at $380,000 per year, which works out more than both the Conservatives and Labour over a 5-year period. The three main parties are also all promising to ban Section 21 or no-fault evictions, an issue we covered on the programme recently. Labour and the Lib Dems both say they would do this immediately. It is something the Conservatives have been promising for years but have not yet delivered. Other ideas the main parties have include ending bidding wars for rental properties from Labour. The Conservatives want to launch a new Help to Buy scheme, while the Lib Dems say they want to make 3-year tenancies the standard. Now, this is, of course, just a snapshot. You can compare all the parties' policies on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/election. Now, we've also been getting out and about to constituencies across the northwest to listen to what you have to say, and Kevin Fitzpatrick has been to Bolton.
Bolton is a Brexit town. 60% of people here voted to leave the EU. They even rang the bells on the town hall behind me to celebrate it. And in 2019, it was a big reason why the Conservatives won.
You pick up a ping pong ball and you just have your say.
In 2024, there are fresh issues on residents' minds. We're at the indoor market with Radio Manchester's ping pong balls, testing opinion.
Everything's important. The NHS, I mean, I think that something needs to be done about that. About the amount of people who are being held up for operations and waiting a long time to get an operation done.
Immigration, yeah.
So why did you choose that?
Yeah, because a lot of people come in here and by boat.
Many people struggle with paying for things like basic things like electric and gas.
It's just surviving each month.
And so you're struggling with the cost of living, are you?
Yeah, very struggling, and I think it's not fair like these rich companies who get everything and profited everything. We're the struggling ones.
Another vote-winning promise for the Conservatives was to level up the country to boost local economies in towns like this, where many people struggle to make ends meet. Some levelling up cash has now arrived, but for many people, life's just got tougher.
I don't think they feel that those premises have been lived up to.
Peter McGowan's been running his chip shop here for over 50 years, but hasn't seen the change he's wanted.
A lot of people are feeling that they're disenfranchised. They feel that nobody listens to them, nobody's interested in what they have to say. And then when reform came, a lot of people started getting a different fire in their belly.
People hoped Brexit would reduce immigration, but it's gone up.
There's no change in the town whatsoever. The only change is that there's less policing around here. Obviously, the immigration is a different kettle of fish. There's a lot more immigrants up here at the moment.
And while there's frustration with the Conservatives, enthusiasm for other parties is in short supply.
I don't know that there's much faith in the politicians. I mean, it's one for the other Conservatives or Labour. I don't see Labour has got the answers to this. From what I've seen from Keir Starmer, I don't think he's answered any of the questions of how he's going to tackle issues.
In 2019, this was a Tory-Labour battle, with other parties winning just 10% of votes. There are 8 candidates in the running this time, in a constituency desperate for some hope. Kevin Fitzpatrick, BBC North West Tonight, Bolton North East.
And you can see a full list of the candidates for Bolton North East and for everywhere, in fact, on the BBC website. And there's the Bolton North East candidates. Now, when Taylor Swift came to Liverpool for her 3 sellout shows at Anfield, the whole city was temporarily renamed Taylortown. Not only did she wow fans, but she also boosted the Liverpool economy. But the Swift effect doesn't end there. She has now made a big donation to a local food bank charity, who say it will make a huge difference to their work. Ian Haslam reports.
Taylor Swift's sellout Anfield shows drew fans from across the world.
I can still make the whole place shiver.
For a week or so, Liverpool became Taylortown as the city hosted the 100th date of her record-breaking Eras tour. But her work on Merseyside wasn't quite done. This week, food bank charity St Andrews Community Network had a call from the singer's representatives offering a donation.
Did you think it was a prank at first?
Yeah, so if I'm honest, yeah. These types of things don't happen every day, do they? I guess one of the things that was particularly beautiful about the conversation was she wanted to convey a message of thanks to those people who, day in, day out, provide compassion and love.
Well, this centre's open Monday to Friday, so 5 days a week, and every day there are volunteers coming in here to help. As you can see, lots and lots of food donations, but they can never have too much. That's because the charity supports 36,000 people in North Liverpool alone.
The charity runs 11 food banks and 8 community food pantries, but recently volunteers have been struggling to give people the food they need in their orders.
This donation is going to help me to fulfil that order, hopefully, and people will get what they ask for.
All thanks to Taylor Swift.
Well, exactly. I think we've both become Swifties all of a sudden.
She's doing a good thing and she loves Liverpool. You can't get better than that.
She's changed so many lives. She's going to make a big difference to all the vulnerable families in Liverpool. I'm a bit of a Swiftie fan myself, so it's nice to, it's amazing what she's done.
She's done similar in other cities she's performed in. Here, that help is much needed.
The cost of living crisis has had an impact on individuals and communities, but it's also having an impact on organisations like ours. Donations of food, for example, have gone down, but the need for the food has increased. This donation eases a bit of the pressure, if I'm honest, and gives us a little bit of hope.
What did all your friends and family say when you told them about this?
Quite often my job's just my job, and there's not a huge amount of interest in it at home, but I became very popular with my children last night and with their friends as well.
Are you a Swiftie?
I wasn't, but I definitely am now.
Many others might well say likewise. Ian Haslam, BBC North West Tonight.
Great, a star with a big heart. Right, let's move on to sport now. Richard is here and some big news for Everton, Richard.
Yes, an American-based group which owns the Italian club Roma Annabelle. Really big news has been granted a period of exclusivity which could lead to them buying Everton. The Freaking Group will now undertake due diligence on the club, with any deal subject to them passing the Premier League's owners and directors test. Other stipulations as well. The group's chairman Dan Freakin has a reported net worth of £4.8 billion. Warrington Wolves are at Hull FC tomorrow, with attention on Sunday turning to a cracking match at Salford, who welcome table toppers St Helens. The Red Devils have faced more than their fair share of financial challenges in recent seasons, haven't they? But with the fans at the heart of their rise, the future is starting to look bright once again. Salford Red Devils are in fine form, with an eye-catching win over Warrington Wolves last time out, and a chance to beat St Helens home and away for the first time in 44 years.
We're in good mood and we'll back ourselves. We're at home, lots to look forward to, but we respect and understand the challenge ahead.
A battle to succeed, driven by fans who last season raised more than £364,000 through a supporters share scheme, making Salford the only community-owned major rugby league club in the Northern Hemisphere. Luke O'Donoghue, one of 1,450 fans who stepped up, is on the board.
We don't have the biggest fan base, we don't have the biggest, biggest bank account, anything like that, but we've got the biggest heart, is what I'd say. We want it so that the owners are the fans and that the fans are represented by those owners. So, that's what I want to do in this role, is represent, the fans in that way.
Supporters who will hope that a long-standing intention for Salford City Council to purchase the stadium, something that would give the Red Devils the future revenue they need, will happen soon.
I think we've done what we had to do. So, we were told that the stadium deal would be done in March 23, so we budgeted accordingly. Didn't come through, so we had to make some drastic decisions. We have to be innovative about the way we do it. We've been clever in identifying people to come in and pick spots up. And that's proven itself on-field performance.
Performance that in the long term will be helped by the club having recently been granted elite academy status, with the Red Devils hoping for a big crowd on Sunday, a match day centred around appreciation for the armed forces, with the aptly named Red Devils parachute display team dropping in with the match ball. How bright do you think, despite all the things that you have to do, how bright is the future for this club?
Oh yeah, we're wildly optimistic. Our catchment's immense. We represent by far the majority of Greater Manchester. International partnerships are booming as well. We've got a couple of announcements coming up with them in the next few weeks. There's a real air of optimism around the place at the moment.
Optimism that supporters will hope continues to gather pace. Should be a cracking occasion on Sunday. Kick-off is at 3, and best of luck, Annabelle, to Manchester Thunder in their big netball semi-final against Seven Stars tomorrow. Let's hope they can win that title back.
Absolutely. Best of luck to them. Rich, thank you very much. Now, as we know, Blackpool is the spiritual home for dance lovers, and it's just one of the reasons why the resort attracts more than 20 million visitors every year. Well, now tourism bosses have proclaimed the town the UK's capital of dance. Phil Cunliffe donned his pumps for this report.
Welcome to Showtown for the launch of the UK's capital of dance. Take your baby by the hand.
Maybe it's the Lancashire sea air or the rhythm of the tide. Blackpool and dancing go hand in hand.
Blackpool's got an unrivalled heritage in dance, from the days of the Victorian dance trains that used to bring hundreds of people to dance on Central Pier, through to the big band era, Empress Ballroom in the Tower Ballroom. Then we had the heyday of variety, disco, northern soul, super clubs, and now, of course, we've got Strictly. Where else could you possibly launch a festival like this?
The idea of the festival is to create a dance and movement version of the Edinburgh Fringe across multiple locations, inside and outdoors.
We're going to be doing some performances, some workshops, some DJing, an opportunity for people to get involved and learn a little bit more about break dance, because obviously that's in the Olympics now, so people are really interested in seeing what all the culture's all about. So yeah, we're going to bring that element to it and a really good vibe.
Or if you prefer a more chilled out vibe, there are taster sessions for those wanting to try some ballet.
The thing that a month-long festival brings is a reason to stay over, so it's not just driving in, engaging and then going back home again. Come over, come and stay with us, come and experience everything else that we've got to offer in Blackpool, but come because of dance.
Of course, the resort has never taken itself too seriously. And as part of the festival, you can learn to walk like a drag queen, courtesy of one of Blackpool's best-loved cabaret bars.
People come and they just can't believe it when they see how professional the dance is. And Blackpool's so associated with it. I always say it's like the Las Vegas of dance. It's like Las Vegas on heat, really. It's brilliant.
So I'm going to be doing a class on the 29th of June, which will be a full class to a range of abilities and ages with our Dancing in Heels class. I'm just waiting for you to pop on a leotard, Phil, and we'll be cracking on with our first lesson today.
You might have to wait a long time for that, I'm afraid.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, walk 1.
A wait of at least another 5 seconds.
6, 7, 8.
How was that?
You're a natural.
Marks out of 10?
3.
3. I'll take that, to be honest.
So the invitation is there to pull on your dancing shoes, even, like me, if you've got 2 left feet. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight.
You're a natural. You're a natural.
Blackpool.
He's a natural something, isn't he? Not sure what exactly. Right, anyway, let's move on. You look like you've got dance shoes on, Emmanuel. They're gorgeous.
It's Friday after all, why not?
Very glitzy.
Thank you.
Right, tell us the weather. Hopefully it's going to stay sunny.
Yes, it's quite promising actually, I think, especially for the first half of next week. But today we did start off with some sunshine, but then a cold front brought us the cloudy conditions that we saw in Cumbria. So then this weekend, well, it's really a mixed picture once again. I think it should be mostly dry with some sunshine, but there are some showers in the forecast. But things will warm up next week. So are we looking at a heat wave? Well, it does depend where you are. We are looking at 26 degrees on Monday, 25 on Tuesday, but temperatures dropping from Wednesday. So no 3 consecutive days that we'll be seeing temperatures exceeding the threshold. So there's the cold front that brought us the rain today. A warm front moves in tomorrow, high pressure builds, and that's what will bring us those temperatures that will climb by the time we head into next week. So then the rain that I mentioned will continue to move through tonight, a little bit cloudy, but temperatures no lower than 11 or 12 degrees Celsius, so rather mild. So then tomorrow, the clouds will stick around for a time. There is the risk of the odd shower, but as we head through the day, it will be a lot brighter. Temperatures getting to highs of around 20 degrees Celsius, a little bit cooler elsewhere than it was today. So then that warm front I mentioned will move in tomorrow night. So that means Sunday, we will start off with some cloud. But as we head into the rest of the day, we're looking at highs of 21 degrees Celsius and then climbing into the new week, as mentioned. Annabelle.
You see, I'm slightly depressed by that because I was thinking we were going to have now. This is our summer, but it dips again.
I mean, it does from Tuesday onwards, but, you know, make the most of it.
I will make the most of it. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.